up, everybody? It's the Hard Deconstruction. You'll find us on Instagram, Facebook, but mostly on YouTube. Give us a like, hit that bell, subscribe icon so you can know when we're on. With your host, Comp and
Daniel.
Today's film is
Daniel Isn't Real, 2019.
Then who am I talking to? Daniel Isn't Real, 2019. A troubled college freshman,
real.
Luke, suffers a violent family trauma. He then resurrects his charismatic childhood imaginary friend Daniel to help him cope, not realizing how dangerous Daniel is. Directed by Adam Egypt Mortimer. Written by Brian DeLue and Adam Egypt Mortimer, based on the novel In This Way I Was Saved.
Imagine this whole time you've been making this thing and, like, I'm not real. You're just, like, imagining my responses, and when you hear it back, you hear the imagined responses, too. But everybody else is just listening to it like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
That would completely make sense. And I'm sure the podcast would be much more popular if that was the case. Yeah. So, Danny, why did you pick Daniel Isn't Real, 2019?
Because it's by Spectrovision, and I think they have a really good track record, with the exception of their first movie, I think.
With the exception of this one, or?
No, I like this one.
So this one stars Miles Robbins.
I was surprised when you kind of didn't seem to.
This movie stars Miles Robbins, Patrick Schwarzenegger, Sasha Lane, Mary Stuart Masterson, and Hannah Marks.
And they're both sons of Tim Robbins and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't figure the Schwarzenegger one because I'd seen him before. Apparently, like, he's some elitist rich kid that is basically just how he is in the film in real life. And Miles Robbins, I didn't think that was him. I thought, it's funny because this actor, Miles Robbins, who plays the lead Luke, he looks like another actor named Cole Sprouse. I don't know if you remember, there's this show called The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. It's about these twins that lived in a hotel and shit like that.
I think I've heard of it.
Now that kid plays Jughead in Riverdale, which is a dark, sexualized version of Archie. With like
Hold on, I'm looking at him. Okay, I could see the... He gave me a Steve from... whatever, Stranger Things sort of vibe too, a little bit.
He also reminds me of right now when I was rewatching some of it. It was Jack White from the White Stripes. Especially when his hair's all loose. Like, I was imagining him to like start playing a guitar and some girl comes out with a drum set. But open up. What is this? How does this film begin?
It begins with a little kid. Well, no. I almost jumped ahead. It begins with a shooting in a diner.
Scary,
and
actually.
Then what?
Pretty scary the way that it was.
Oh yeah. And then it's basically jumps to the kid that witnessed it, and now he has this little imaginary friend due to his trauma who tries to kill his mom, and he locks him in a dollhouse.
It's funny because I just thought, why didn't they try to hide that? But then I realized the whole film is called Daniel Isn't Real, so what would be the point of hiding that fact, I guess, if that's the opening of it? Because the mother is like looking away, because usually other films try to hide that as much as possible so they can be like, oh, see, look. Like when we saw, I don't want to spoil the movie, but we saw this other film about I don't want to spoil actually, because if I say the name of the movie or what it's about, but there's plenty of movies that pull that shit. And this at least from the beginning, obviously because the book is called something else. I actually want to read the book to see if it's any better.
I love the name of this movie. I think it's a really good name.
Of course you do. So this kid, I just thought you were being ironic or something.
No, I do like it.
So the kid grows up to be this sort of disaffected. He has issues with his mother, who has mental illness. Not drove away, but I guess father didn't want to stay around, and he has to deal with that. They live in a pretty fucking expensive house in New York. I guess they come from money. I guess the dad is making money, or she has some money. Yeah. But he has not to worry about any fucking financial things. He has to just worry about being nuts. So this film doesn't...
I would rather be poor than what he has.
Oh, yeah, obviously. Because this film obviously has referencing to mental illness and stuff like that. Although it isn't direct... I mean, although when you do find out it's more supernatural than it is mental illness, kind of takes away from it a little bit.
Yeah, but the first like hour is like you completely believe he's just a crazy person.
Yeah, because he's... it's an interesting take on the genre. I don't know, for some reason it didn't connect to me the way that it was done. Like, I don't know if it was budget wise or just the way it was done. I mean, like, how would you explain Daniel?
Well, it's kind of like Daniel, like the character.
Yes,
he's basically like Don Jr. He reminds me
true.
very much of Donald Trump Jr. Like the exact vibe. Like this is what that guy would be if he was a monster, basically. Well, he is a monster, but if he was supernatural.
Yeah, he's essentially this sort of smug, very egotistical guy who's trying to make Luke. He's trying to make Luke take control of his life and be free, whatever this freeness means.
So you think, yeah.
Yeah, right. So, but Patrick's essentially just jumping. I don't like looking at the Daniel character. I understand what he represents. He's supposed to, I guess, represent the perfect version of what Luke wants to be, although Luke is seeing him as his friend, but he knows he's not real.
Right.
He sees him as this sort of like alpha male that he isn't himself because he's a little bit shy, he's a little bit more
awkward.
Yeah, awkward and stuff like that. And I don't know, there was just something that Patrick Schwarzenegger's sort of acting threw me off. Like that's how he is in real life. So I don't think that's how like
I don't know anything about him in real life.
No, I think I saw from like when you don't look for shit in celebrity news and it just comes on.
But he's related to the Kennedys. He's related to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, yeah,
isn't he Arnold Schwarzenegger's son? He's Schwarzenegger's son.
Well, I'm saying he's like from like a dynasty, you know.
Now,
like,
if he had Schwarzenegger's accent, then that'd probably make the movie a lot better. But
imagine he grows up in America, but inexplicably has an Austrian accent.
All of Schwarzenegger's kids. It's like, come on, Luke, you got to be yourself now. Do it now, right? That'd be great. That movie would be great.
That would be great.
But I don't know. There's something. I don't know. There's just something about his performance in he does an okay job. Like he does play a piece of shit really well. So I don't know. There's just something about like his performance. It's just very dry and it doesn't feel. I mean, I guess it's appropriate for the movie itself. I just didn't feel it when I saw it. The movie itself, like I wasn't really. But the thing is, every review I saw was like, "Oh, this is great. This is so interesting."
Well, I kind of see what you're saying. Like, as far as all the performances go, he's probably my least, but I still think he does a good job. But I wish he was more like more lively.
He's not say like this is a movie that I think you hated, but like Little Monsters. He's not sort of like this super.
Wait, I actually never saw that one.
Oh yeah, with Howie Mandel. That was a fun movie when I was a kid.
Little Monsters. I thought you were talking about that new one with the zombies.
Oh no, I didn't see that. I heard that's good. Yeah, I heard that's really good.
No, Little Monsters. I used to love it as a kid, and I watched it like a year ago with my friend.
And it was bad?
Oh, it's terrible.
I only like the ending of that film. Honestly, I didn't really like set the whole movie. But
like a painfully annoying movie. Like Howie Mandel is so annoying.
My point to that is that let's bring somebody else. He's not like a Beetlejuice. Do you understand? Like an over the top. Entertaining character.
Yeah, I wish he was a little more entertaining. I know what you're saying. Like, I agree.
So, I mean, when you want to see... But, I mean, that's... I don't know. I guess it's supposed to be more grounded in reality, even though there's fucking Slipknot
it's like half a
drama.
It's like half a drama, half like a body horror. Like, it kind of hops around a little bit.
Because throughout this film, he's trying to woo Hannah Marks' character, Sophie. They have sort of this realistic relationship with each other where he's trying to, get with her. She's a very pretty girl. She has that fantastic bob haircut that I love on brunettes. And, eventually, because he's letting Daniel slip more into his personality, or he lets Daniel take over a little bit more, influence him, he does end up sleeping with her in a really, like, weirdo, confrontational thing. Like, I understand why the guy slapped the phone out of his hand and he just beat the shit out of the guy and put his face into the fucking...
well, that was... wait, are you talking about... No, that's not Hannah. That was the other girl.
Sorry, Hannah Marks is the name of the actress who plays Sophie. Sophie is the character.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was getting confused.
So so that leads into a confrontation where she sees she thinks he's mentally... Well, he is sort of... I don't know if he's mentally ill. I guess he's carrying off from his mother.
I mean, well, he is a little bit, but I think that the demon can, like, invade that.
Right. So maybe... I guess that's the whole point, that he can hop in to people with mental illness or something like that, or help kind of be attached to them.
They're vulnerable is what I think.
So yeah, I mean, it's like, and then there's also, this is the part where I was like, oh boy, it's Sasha Lane's character who plays Cassie, who's the main romantic interest. She's, I just recently saw her on a show called Utopia, which got canceled on Amazon, but it was a really good first season. It's a dark fucking show. And it's not probably not like if what's going on in real life right now, it's very close to it. It's about an epidemic, and it's just like oof.
Ugh.
But like her character's like the main sort of protagonist, but she's such a piece of shit that you're like, I'm not rooting for this character. But her in here, this is why I remember her. But her in here, I was just like, because she looks completely different when they interview her. Because she has this sort of look where she looks like an older woman in a young woman's body. I don't know if that makes sense. It's just her facial structure.
Okay.
If that makes sense, I don't know, because then when they interview her outside, she looks like a fucking very pretty model. It's very strange. Because I guess when she takes off all her makeup, she looks like a completely different person. But anyway, it's not talking about looks, it's just how her facial structure is. And her in this film, every fucking, like if you've never met an artist in your life, and they say, okay, tell me what an artist in a movie or TV is, this is exactly what she is. They even do the fucking scene where two characters are throwing shit at a fucking painting.
Yeah.
And it is so fucking... Honestly, like, there are people like that. Like, there are really artists like that. I haven't really met that many, but it's just... But it's like cartoonishly, like if somebody has never met an artist before, this is what they think an artist is. Like they're so brave and bold, and oh fuck, man, I'm not gonna be commercial and all that horse shit. It's all like, come on.
Well, some
there
artists
are artists like that,
but
they're definitely like that. But this is just too like fucking. It's just like I was like rolling my eyes when I saw it. I was like, oh please, with that scene. It's so stupid.
Yeah, a little bit.
When
I agree.
When artists realize they can't pay the fucking bills, they're suddenly like, yeah, I'll do whatever you want me to do. You know what I mean? It's so full of shit. But anyway, I thought their relationship was sort of, the same old shit you'd see in any fucking rom-com or a guy.
I kind of liked her. I thought they made a good couple. It was like really sad, actually.
She's fine. I'm just saying that them together, it was so like, it's weird how like such illegal things happen in this film and nobody's sort of getting caught for it. Like the police don't exist in this world.
Yeah,
they're probably beating up minorities. But
well, it is in New York, so you're probably right.
These are the rich kids, but like stuff happens. Like, why didn't he get arrested for fucking frying that guy's face? Like, just putting that guy in a fucking open pipe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe because he's rich. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna sue him. There's only one part in this film where I thought was incredible. I was like, this isn't even from the same film, and I'm sure you agree with me.
What?
That it was the part where he kills his therapist. Because his therapist puts him under hypnosis, and it suddenly becomes a fucking David Cronenberg movie out of nowhere.
Yeah, when he's climbing out of his body and everything. Like,
I'm thinking that was the thing that sold the making of this film, because that one sequence.
I wish it had more stuff like that and a little less of the drama sort of stuff.
It's sort of like a disconnection. Like, remember when we saw Extraction, that movie about the girl who was like having nightmares, these really like high end.
Is that the one who does like a lung transplant on her?
Yes, at the end, yeah. And but there was like a disconnection between that, because it would seem like a normal movie, and then this seemed
and there'd be like a beautiful scene, and then
it had no connection to the rest of the film. It was
I don't think there's a complete
sequences.
disconnect with this one, but like definitely they needed to like lean it towards one thing and
I meant the disconnection was an Extraction, not this. I think they needed that type of stuff, like weird shit like that, because but the only thing is when they do it, like it's like a bootleg fucking Hellraiser, because he goes into this place of mazes of hell or whatever the fuck it is.
I kind of liked all that stuff. I thought that was good.
I don't know, it didn't work for me. This is
it's a low budget movie though.
Yeah. I give them,
I think for what they did,
did with it,
pretty great. I don't know,
but the monster itself was like
more demony sort of. Like there's like a couple scenes where Daniel is just like clearly evil, and it's like, ooh, great. Like I don't know, but like when he's just kind of sitting there and it's dry and like I don't know, they could have done more.
Because obviously they wanted to do a character study, and then. Towards
all the acting is pretty great in my opinion. Like, especially Luke was like great.
Yeah, he's very good. He's actually an excellent.
Which makes sense because he's like the son of fucking Susan Sarandon and Tim Rum. So.
Yeah, I think is he a director too? I believe he's a director also. Because I was listening to an episode of no, he does not. He has a brother that's a director, I believe. But because Tim Robbins has money.
Yeah, I'm reading it. Jack Henry Robbins.
Right, so that's a director, and this is the actor. But he's very good. He's actually he's a very compelling actor. He has an interesting look to him. And I believed him as the character, especially the part when he's crying and stuff. He has a really good cry face because he looks shocked.
Yeah.
So he's an actor to sort of look towards to. Like, he carries this whole fucking movie. Honestly, he's like, and it's good because obviously he's the lead. And the promotions are really well. I think they should have just fixed the Daniel character, because Daniel wasn't as compelling or interesting, because they're more.
They
of
should have done more with the Daniel character. Like, he just needed more stuff. It would have been cooler.
They had
I was also a little confused by what happened when he, like, that guy that was on the shooting spree was trapped as a demon inside that world or something. I guess
that's what happens. I guess he takes him in or something.
Yeah. So what, did he free him by stabbing him? I don't really get it, but I don't know.
This is a question for the ages. I'm sure the book. I don't know if the book expounds upon it. Like, I honestly think the book might actually be really different from the film itself, because the film itself is very hyper realized and hyper stylized, and but I can't tell. I'd want to read the book. I want to check out the book and see how it is. Honestly,
also, I feel bad for the mom. It's definitely like a drama. This movie's like a drama.
Yeah, I think, but I think there's an interesting thing about it where you're seeing this sort of reality of, like, a really dark story being upended by supernatural aspects, and I'm always compelled by that. I always love that type of stuff in films.
Yeah,
and I think they had a good idea here, especially with the lead character, because he was, sympathetic in a way, but he's fucked. Like, honestly, like, I was like, oh, maybe he can get away with it at the end, but I was like, no, I was like, he did a lot of shit in this movie where it's like,
yeah, no matter what, he's either going to jail for murder or he's
there's no way out of it for him. Like, he's done for, because especially when he jumps off the roof at the very end to free himself, I guess.
Yeah.
It was the worst effect of him falling, because his hair is like fluttering, and his shirt's not moving 1 inch if he's falling through the fucking air. Like, his hair should be like whipping in his head, but I mean, that's just a technical thing. And then the girl just sort of sits next to him, and that's
well, she's possessed now, probably, because he fucking dove after her at the end. But
do you think the demon killed himself at the end because he jumps off the fucking hell roof?
No, he can't die. He just needs a new home.
Oh.
So that's why he jumped off. He went towards Cassie now.
Yeah, I guess they wanted. I mean, that's a pretty predictable ending of how this movie would end, with, like, the demon on top of the roof, kind of staring down, and we see him looking sinister and all that shit.
I was reading a thing today on the Twitter of Spectre Vision, and apparently their new movie Arch Enemy is going to have like a tie-in with this or something.
Really? Because Arch Enemy is like a science fiction movie.
It's like a comic book movie or something, but
right.
I swear, like, there's like an article or something. Let me see. I know it's
Joe Manganiello, that actor. I don't know. I want to see it just because it's interesting. The Arch Enemy, but I don't know. That's interesting to hear that it has any connection to this, because I wouldn't know what the fuck would connect to this movie other than it was like a.
I think something with the Daniel character. Hold on. Oh, okay. Here we go. Bloody disgusting. Arch Enemy and Daniel Isn't Real take place in the same universe.
Okay.
The director promises a Vortex trilogy, whatever the hell that means. Is it the same director? What's the director of Daniel Isn't Real?
Adam Egypt Mortimer.
Yep, it's the same director, I think.
Okay, that's why.
Wait, am I wrong? Why am I stupid? Anyway, whatever.
Maybe in the film in Arch Enemy, there's a guy named Daniel, and he goes, "That's not real," and that's how the connection is for the movie. so I don't know. That's the worst joke ever. But I give props to the film for, I guess, achieving its goal of having this kid go nuts, and then I felt like, honestly, there wasn't a real sort of connect between Daniel and the main character, and that, like, I didn't see enough of them. Like, Daniel was very sort of paper thin, sort of bad guy. He was like, just do this, just do that. Right. And there was no real, like, the character Luke, I felt, was actually solid. Like, he was an actual real person. Obviously, Daniel's a fucking monster from hell.
Well, Daniel isn't real.
Right, I know that, but I mean, it's just that their interactions were just always antagonistic and never, and it's just, I was like, all right, whatever. For some reason, the movie didn't connect to me, so I'm not sure why I had such a disconnect with the film itself, but that's how I felt about it. Like, the characters were fine, The story was fine, but it was just
which character would you
supernatural
rather be
aspect.
in this movie if you have to choose between Daniel, Luke, Daniel or Luke, or the guy who gets his face burned?
Well, Daniel got to have sex with a girl while he made
That's
he made the
true.
real guy watch.
That's true.
Yeah,
he
Luke
did.
didn't even get to beat off. He was like, hey, he was so worried. He was like,
I
"Give me
feel like
back
that would be
my
a good.
body."
I feel like it'd be a good existence to be Daniel because like you never die. You get to go into people's bodies and kill people and stuff. That's cool. Like
He just stays around like in hell 24/7.
yeah, but he's
house
like
and
a king in hell. He's got like a crown and shit. He's fine. Like he's not having a bad time in hell. That's his home.
What'd you think of his face? How it looked? The design of the
alright.
monster.
It was okay.
Yeah, there's nothing special about it. It's something like out of fucking a party store or something like that. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to bring up that is negative or positive about this film?
I think I liked it more than you, but
Oh, that's no question about that.
I would love if I don't know. I just wish they made more like horror and less drama. A little bit, like 10%
But I mean,
more horror.
just for
10%
this or in general?
No, for this movie.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that it needed that sort of. It needed some hyper realization to it. That it does have it towards the end of the film, but it feels like it's out of place. But then anyway, we could say that about Jack, the House of Jack built, like because at the very end, like the last 15
Yeah,
minutes,
but that
it's
movie
like a completely different
that
movie.
movie is just perfect.
Yeah, it is. So I mean, but that's how you
Everybody see House that Jack built. By the way,
that's correctly how you do that type of film where it's all of a sudden like what the fuck, that makes sense. Here it was sort of like,
also
I get where you're going.
This movie, I mean, it's been a really long time since I've seen it, but I definitely got like Altered States vibes from this a little bit.
I've never seen that. That's about a guy on drugs or something, or he goes through a
It's
machine or
about,
something like that.
it's kind of like about a guy that's on drugs, and then his evil personality splits out of him, and it's been years, so I probably don't even remember but I do remember like the classic scene of him like puking out his evil, and like it's like all this trying to separate from him and stuff, and
interesting.
yeah, it's cool.
But this is that sort of typical Jekyll and Hyde type of film, and if you're interested in it, it's it's filmed very well. The acting's good. There's a lot of horse shit in it with like art people
I wouldn't
and
say
stuff
a lot.
like that.
There's like 15 minutes of horse shit.
Yeah, altogether. But I thought it was an interesting film. I didn't really like it as much as I thought I would because I like this type of film, like when people are dealing with psychosis and supernatural elements at the same time. But all in all, it just didn't work for me. I think it was because the Daniel character for me wasn't as interesting as they
He should have had that Austrian accent.
Yeah, but so Danny, what rating would you give this film?
I give this a 7.5 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10. Going to your client's house because you think you can help them, and then what do you know? A demon comes out of their body and stabs you with a dagger.
Incredible. I would give this a 6 out of 10. About to get laid, and then you get taken over, and you let another monster butt fuck the girl that you were into, and you have to watch and scream at the same time. So with that, Danny, who isn't real, what's the final word?
Realizing.
Deconstruction.